This is BBC Radio Lincolnshire, and we will crack on with In the Game. This is the home for all things sport and sporting around Lincolnshire. Don't forget, get in touch. You or somebody you know is doing something that we should be shouting about, then drop us a line and we'll sort something out. Just like we have done with Becca Taylor, a.k.a. Driving Bex. Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really, really good. Can't wait to ask you lots of stuff about what's been happening in your world. You've basically crammed all this into the past 6 months, and now I'm going to make you cram it all into about 15 minutes. So tell me about the past 6 months. Where do we start? What have you been doing?
Oh God, where do I start? I mean, it all begun really with Formula Woman, which is a competition for novice women to open the door really into motorsport and to win a fully sponsored seat in the GT Cup driving a McLaren next year. So it all really started there, and with that they needed people that were not only good on the racetrack but also good with media, and that's how I created Driving Bex and started YouTube, Instagram and TikTok, and things have really just snowballed from there.
I mean, obviously, you wanted to do well. Of course, you did. That's the whole reason. But I can tell from looking at your social media and other bits and pieces. Saw you on Look North the other night that it's obviously just gone 100 times better and bigger than you ever expected.
Completely. I mean, it's always been a dream to sort of step into this world, but the way it's sort of come about and how much it's progressed has just been incredible.
Now, you mentioned Formula Woman. I don't know if this was planned neatly or it's just a very good coincidence, but what a week to be speaking to you about it, because yesterday was a pretty big day, wasn't it?
It was, yes, it was D-Day essentially, so my big assessment day.
Tell us about it. Where did it happen? How did the day work? Take us through the whole thing, please.
So it was based at Bedford Autodrome for myself. There were, I believe, 6 other assessment days around the country and around the world. And the way it's set out, we had lots of different assessments to sort of see whether we have the whole package to make it as a racing driver. So there was an on-track assessment in a Vauxhall Corsa E with an instructor. We had a bit of a karting race, which was great fun in the rain. We had a fitness assessment as well, a shot to camera. So we spoke to a camera and a media personnel, and then also a bit of a just kind of going through the racing flags and what line you should take around the corner and bits and pieces like that.
I mean, it was an assessment, so you've obviously got the nerves there. But aside from that, it must have been like a dream day for you.
It was awesome to be surrounded by like-minded people, and the girls we were with were incredible. The instructors were amazing. The whole way the day was run was really, really well put together. So it was nice to be in that atmosphere doing what you love with people who also enjoy doing that thing as well.
Now, this is the question that everybody's going to ask you, and I'm just going to join the club by asking, how long is the wait? What's the deal? You find out, and then what happens?
So there is currently 800 applicants, and we all get whittled down to 50, which we find out just before Christmas. So it's either going to be absolutely fantastic Christmas present or very fun. And then from there, there'll be 2 days in January where the final 50 will fight it out to make the winning 6.
Oh, I mean, it's great that you're doing it. I'm absolutely loving it. But that is cruel of them, doing the whole announcement just before Christmas, making you wait at this time of the year.
I know. It will make a really great Christmas present if I'm successful.
It is. It's going to happen. I have everything crossed. You're a Lincolnshire lass. It's going to happen. I know it is. Now, I mentioned that I saw you on Look North, and I heard in there and noticed a pretty good name drop that you made. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Did you say name drop? Sorry, the line.
Yes. Yeah, name dropped. Which one am I talking about?
Oh, sorry, the line keeps cutting out.
It's clearly my question is just, it's too good. The name
it doesn't want to happen.
It doesn't want to happen. Third time lucky. Here we go. The name drop in your Look North interview. You mentioned somebody who's a big name in the motorsport world. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I imagine, is it Perry McCarthy?
Yes, of course it is. You got it in one. Tell us, for those that don't know, who is he?
So Perry McCarthy is a ex-F1 driver, but he is better known as the original black-suited Stig on BBC's Top Gear.
Oh, now, if you're going to do this as a career, which you obviously are, if you're going to have anybody as a best mate, if you're going to have anybody on speed dial, then that is clearly the right person. Is he a top bloke? I'm sure he is. Tell us about him and how you got to know him.
He is absolutely lovely. I first got to know him through LinkedIn, so the social media app. I knew his name because he once was a after dinner speaker for my dad's work, and my dad has never shut up about this speech. So when he came up as a suggested connection, I thought, why not see what happens? I'm looking for guests on my interview series on YouTube, and I thought I'll ask the question. The worst that can happen is he can say no. So I got chatting to him and kind of messaged him a couple of times, and he thought, you know what, why not? You seem very enthusiastic. I'll give you a shot. And we got on really, really well on the interview, and he's stayed in touch ever since. I mean, this was back in sort of August, I believe, August time, yeah. And we've stayed in touch. He always messages to see how I'm getting on, how he can help, and he is the nicest bloke going.
Oh, well, you see, if you need when you see people at, Christmas parties and weddings and you're having that conversation, oh, what do you do? I'll do this. That's a name drop. That's the one that comes up in every conversation. Now, if you will, stay there. I've got lots more to ask you. We'll play a song and then we'll have a chat a little bit more. Is that all right?
On.
Stay there. It's In the Game on Wednesday evening. I'm Ross Carrick and Becca Taylor is on with us. Becca is a name to watch in the motorsport world. She had her assessment for the Formula Woman competition yesterday, and obviously your mum and dad will be super, super proud of you, Becca, but I'm guessing they also watch on quite nervously when you're racing.
Definitely. I mean, yesterday I had mum messaging me all day, bless her, saying, how did it go? How did it go? And every time I'm on track, they are the most supportive parents, and I couldn't thank them enough. So my dad stands there in the freezing cold with a torque wrench, waiting to torque all the wheels up and get all the checks done. My mum's there anxiously waiting to make sure I get in safely, but she comes out with me as well as a passenger, and she just absolutely loves it.
Oh, fantastic. And obviously Cadwell is like a second home to you, and what a racetrack to be your home track. It's just unbeatable, Cadwell, isn't it?
We are incredibly lucky to have that just on our doorstep, not only for the fact the track is like a mini Nürburgring, but it's a beautiful place to go, and we often just go up for a cup of coffee if there's a track day on and go chat to some people that I know from the car scene, and it's just a really nice place to have on our doorstep just 5 minutes away.
I'm going to sound like half an expert now, but I'm sure somebody told yeah, not much of one, believe me. But I'm sure somebody told me that Cadwell, the track has all different names, parts of it. Is part of it called Charlie? Is that right?
Yes, so you've got Charlie's 1 and 2. So all tracks, majority of the corners have sort of names so you know what's what. I'm still learning a lot of them. I tend to get them wrong still because there's so many different ones to remember. But yes, there is 2 called Charlie's 1 and 2.
And what are the others? Because you'll know them a lot better than I do.
Cadwell's actually one I know reasonably well. So you've got Gooseneck, Mansfield, you've got Hull Bends, Coppice as well, and that's going to be it for that I can remember.
Well, I tell you what, we're getting you signed up for Mastermind, and Cadwell is going to be your specialist subjects. Brilliant. You're 22 now. When did the racing bug get you? Has it been a recent thing, or were you kind of wanting to do it when you were at school?
I've always loved cars since being a toddler, really, but the world of motorsport really only opened up to me about last October, so just over a year ago now, when I was introduced to Lotus cars. It was completely out of reach because I never thought I could afford it or didn't really know how to get into it, really, because I didn't start karting when I was little. That's usually the traditional way of getting into motorsport. So Formula Woman for me really was the actual beginning of this motorsport journey.
And the racing world, if you mention it to somebody in general, they'll say it's mainly a man's thing, which obviously is something that we've got to push aside, and you're doing so well to get the name out there for women. Is it welcoming? Is the world of motorsport welcoming for women?
It is certainly a man's world, but once you kind of prove yourself, so I've often been out with groups of men and they don't really trust that you can drive, but often I've actually gone out in with a group of friends and I've been driving the cars and they didn't realise it was me driving. They thought it was their friend. So they were pushing me. I was giving it them back, keeping out in front, and then they come back in and they're actually genuinely quite shocked. but it means like that you've proved yourself to them and you've become then quite welcomed into the group. But you do have to prove yourself a lot more than if I was male.
I just think it's great, though, what you're doing, because obviously women's football is becoming a bigger and bigger thing. And the name that you're making for women in racing is absolutely brilliant. So I say watch this space. Even better that you're from Lincolnshire. I mean, that makes it 100 times better for us.
Exactly. A Lynx girl.
Absolutely. And doing super well. We love it. What's next for you? Have you got anything before Christmas?
So coming up now, it's a matter of just waiting for my obviously assessment results, and then the next steps will be made from there as to how my training goes and which direction in terms of looking for sponsorship. And if I don't be successful with the Formula Women race series, I'm still going to look at racing next year. So it's then making that decision of which series to go into, getting my racing license. So it all kind of is waiting now for that assessment results. But until then, I'm still going to keep going with driving Bex and keep pushing it and having fun.
Yeah, give us the handle, the Insta handle and all that kind of stuff, because I know people will want to go look at you and find out more about you.
So on Instagram, YouTube and TikTok, you can just type in driving as in you're driving a car and Bex, BEX.
Fantastic. Well, watch this space. I've got everything crossed. I know you're going to do super well, and we're 100% going to follow your progress here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. So keep in touch with us. Keep us posted how you're doing, and we'll keep in touch.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much. Everything's crossed at the moment.
Absolutely. And we've got it crossed here too.